couldn't afford nappies. A lot of self-doubt. I'm questioning myself, can I really do this? Am I really the person that I think I am? Should I just go and get a job? Should I just give in and go and get a 9 to 5 and just submit to being part of the 98%? Impossible is nothing. I can do it.
Welcome back to another video. For those of you guys who don't know who Charlie Sloth is,
what up, Charlie? Freestyling with Charlie, y'all know I'm about my guala, pop my collar.
He's a huge DJ in the UK. He sat down with Stephen Bartlett from The Diary of a CEO, and they had a great conversation. It was so inspiring, so moving, that I said, let me watch it with you guys. I love sharing these moments with you guys. I love inspiring people, and I also love inspiring myself. So that's what I'm gonna do. It's a small clip. You guys can go and check out the full interview on the Diary of a CEO podcast. I want to get straight into this. So make sure you like, share, subscribe. I love you guys. Keep subscribing. It's very important for me, and seeing the algorithm, seeing how you guys are interacting with me. I love every single one. And I thought I'd bring this interview. So you know what? Let's get straight into it and let's get started.
And from a young age, I was always about, you know, from when I was 12 to up until I was 17, I was always about making money. And that for me was the drive. How do I make money? I need to make more money. You know, it started with me selling sandwiches because I couldn't afford lunch dinners. I weren't getting free dinners at the time. So my mum used to make me a packed lunch. And I remember going to school, selling the sandwiches, selling the crisps, selling the drink, making a £5. And I was like, wait a minute, I can just replicate this. So then I started going buying a loaf of bread, salami, some salad cream, some lettuce. And then I started making 10 sandwiches, selling all the sandwiches. And then throughout a 2-year period, it extended to me buying cigarettes, buying 20 cigarettes.
See, this guy's a real hustler right here. It's funny, my brother used to do that in school. Mom obviously makes her amazing Kenyan meals, and my older brother used to go and he used to sell them for a profit, you see. So from a young age, you see how a lot of great people, a lot of business-minded people have that type of entrepreneur spirit from a young age. But yeah, let's keep watching.
And selling the cigarettes for £1 each, sometimes £5, depending on how desperate the person who was trying to buy the cigarette from me. And I would always save the money that I'd make and reinvest it to make more money.
The re-up, you know what I'm saying? Man would re-up. I used to do that in school. We used to sell Coke. Henry Banson, I remember that, like year 9, and just sell cans of Coke, and people would buy it. It was a lot. It was, have to put them in our big ass bags. It was heavy. We did that for a little bit, and we actually had some profit. Every profit we made, we'd go and buy more Coke. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up, man. Shout out to all the hustlers out there.
And then by the time I was, I'd say 21, my idea of chasing money had changed somewhat. It became very apparent for me that I weren't happy chasing money.
This is very, very important. I want you guys to pay close attention.
I weren't about chasing the money. I still understood the value of money and knew how important it was for me to make money. But I made a decision around 2021 that I was gonna focus on something that I loved and that I was very passionate about, and allow the financial rewards to follow that. Rather than doing it the other way around, chasing the money by doing things that I'm not so passionate about, and I don't really care about, and I can't see it ever making me happy.
Very, very important thing he said there. Someone who also came on this show, Dame Dash, he talked about this as well, and he talks about it a lot in length. But even for me, like since I was young, even on my journey, this journey that I've been, like me even having this YouTube channel, you know, a lot of people, they'll maybe think of YouTube and be like, they think of the money. Yes, there's great money into this, but you got to do something that you love doing. When I started this, I had a passion for it and I fell in love with this. Creating videos, putting something inspiring for you guys. I'm passionate about this. I love doing this. I'll do this with no money. I've been doing this. You have to go a year, 2 years of creating videos consistently without earning money.
Right now, everybody want to be a YouTuber. Everybody want to do podcasts. The most important thing is consistency. If you can't do this, and I'm telling you, it's gonna be like, damn, I don't know. If you can't make a video every day for a year straight, you can't do YouTube. You gotta be able to get your ass up every day and make a video without getting paid. That's gonna separate everybody from the pack, because you trying to get instant gratification. Nope, all that money gotta go in, all that time gotta go in.
Hey guys, just real quick, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors at Fanatics. Now guys, Christmas is right around the corner. So I know people are looking for gifts, the best things to get your family, friends, even to get yourself. Now guys, right now Fanatics have deals every single day. And that's the best thing, because not only are you going and getting great deals, 50%, 25%, right now they actually have great PSG merchandise. Now you guys can see the PSG top I'm wearing. I got it straight from Fanatics. Shout out to the sponsors. I have the whole tracksuit. Now guys, this is fly drip. If you want custom drip, if you want to look good in these holidays, if you want to be able to get your family members, your girlfriend, people great gifts, head over to Fanatics, because they have everything you guys need in order to look good, but to be able to present yourself and have a great time for this Christmas festive season. So guys, I want you right now, head over to that link. You guys will have great deals on great merchandise using my promo code. You guys don't want to miss out on great deals, because you could have a deal that's maybe 75% and it goes away tomorrow. There's only a limited amount of time and you don't want to miss out on that. I'm telling you guys, go and get your drip, go and look good. The World Cup is still on right now, so you still have a chance. And let's get back to the video. But because I love doing this, and I've always known if I chase what I love, chasing my football, putting all my energy and effort into something that I love doing, something that I would do for free.
I always say, if you can do something, think about whether you'll do it for free. Right? Those are things that you love to do. You understand me? If you would do it for free, that means you really love to do it. And if you can build a business and you can build things around that.
Of course it's about money. I want to earn money, and I know there's going to be tons of it coming, but it's always about chasing what you love doing, because when you chase what you love doing, there's an obsession that evolves about you. I'm obsessed with this. I can't sleep because I'm thinking about this. And it's because I love it. If I didn't love it, I don't think I'd have so much fulfillment if I was making money doing something else. And that's a very important lesson that he's talking about.
There's a certain amount of warmth that I feel just watching how much I've progressed and grown as a man. And to look back at that now, for me, it's just like, wow. But at the same time, I feel like, the amount of messages that I get every day about how inspiring that is to people that are living in certain circumstances very familiar to those that I was living in back then. And I feel like it shows a generation for me that right now seems very lost, very scared, very confused, that it's possible. That if you believe in yourself and you apply yourself and you put everything that's expected of you to the side and just do what feels right for you, anything's possible. And I'm living proof of that.
Wow, such an important message. I really felt what he said when he said he feels that a generation that's lost, that's confused. You think about what's going on in our lives now, everything that's getting put in front of us, social media, I think, which has heightened so much. There's so many people out there who are lost and confused. They don't know where to go. They're looking at what's expected of them. Like he said, oh, my dad expects me. The days that we're going on now, seeing how the Matrix controls so many people, seeing how so many people in such a slave mind, they're confused, they're lost. So they just accept a program. But he's saying to you, no, anything is possible for you. Anything, if you believe.
Like, I'm here today, one of the most successful hip hop DJs in Europe. I own multiple brands and I'm still doing what I love. When I was told that wasn't possible.
When I watch those videos,
amen. You're doing what you loved when they told you it wasn't possible. It gives me goosebumps him saying that. And I'm sure he's also like, they told me this wasn't possible. I feel it because seeing the path I'm on, seeing the vision that I have and where I'm going in my life, everything that I'm achieving, so many people have told me it won't work. So many people have told me to just be realistic. So to hear this again is so inspiring.
outside of all that stuff, there was a man there that really, really wanted to be successful and really wanted to get on. And it's so funny because you say like you didn't have the ideas. Nobody had given you the ideas. Your environment hadn't given you the ideas. You didn't even know what university was.
I had no idea. At that point, I had no idea. And when you think about that, that's bizarre. How does a 17-year-old young man not know what university is? And that's because nobody had told me. And none of my friends were going to university. I didn't know one person that had gone to university at that age.
Goes to show how much information is a privilege.
Oh, of course.
You
information is everything. And of course, at that time, there was no internet. So for me to self-educate in the way I do now, it wasn't possible back then. But yeah, you're right. My hunger and passion was there. And I feel like that's what set me apart.
Hunger and passion. A lot of people try to say, don't follow your passion, whatever the case is. I've heard that quite a bit, but I really feel when you're passionate about something, you'll go to the depths of the earth just to fulfill that need and that desire to create. That's what passion is about. It's about doing something that you love, that inspires you, that wakes you up. So when you mix that with hunger and desire, man.
There's times when I've sat there, and I'm always my own worst critic. I'll always review myself, and I'll sit there and I wouldn't say I meditate, but I like to reflect. I like to look within to find out what I'm doing right, what I'm not doing so well, and just where I'm at in life in terms of perspective. And there was a time maybe 3 years ago when I was sat there and I'm questioning myself almost. I'm like, what is it that's made me become the person I am? Like, why have I been so successful? Is it luck? Have I just been lucky? I'm asking myself these questions. And then, I'm thinking about my old friendship groups and where a lot of those are in terms of life. Some of my new friendship groups. And after reflecting for several hours and sitting there and questioning myself, the one thing that was very clear that separated me from everyone that I'd met throughout life and had been part of my journey was my self-belief.
Because belief in self is the highest level of intelligence. Before I can go believe in anything else.
And it's so cliche, right? Self-believe in yourself, self-belief. But it's so hard. I understand why people don't believe in themselves. I understand why. Because it's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy to drown out the noise. The main factor Charlie Sloth is who he is because of self-belief. It's so powerful, yet so hard and so difficult. And it's why not so many people achieve greatness, is because they don't believe in themselves. It's easier said than done, right?
Like, I've always believed impossible is nothing. I can do it. As long as I've had that mindset about things, I've been able to accomplish it. And part of that same, analysis on myself was going back to the imagery that I'd put up around in my studio and how I went about achieving those certain goals and targets that I'd set myself. And it was almost like I had achieved those things subconsciously.
I'm getting goosebumps watching this. He had put up images. It's like what people talk about a vision board, and that's why a lot of people say the importance of having a vision board, right? Imagine maybe has 10 pounds in his pocket, however much money he has in his pocket. But when he goes into his environment,
organisms of reaction through our environments. They entrain, you understand me, our will and what we're going to do next.
Away from the world, because he's following his passion. He's following what he loves. He's like a child. He sees the cars. He sees being a DJ in the biggest places in the world. So his subconscious mind has already put himself there. And this is what we need to do. This is what, for example, I do it in a different way. I meditate, I visualize, I close my eyes and I see the feeling of winning. I see the feeling and I'm looking at my family and I'm specific about it. I want it's like we have to trick our subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind believes whatever you tell it. If we're putting negativity in our subconscious mind, it's going to give you negativity. It's going to give you what you visualize, what you see. Have that image of what he's saying. Put those things around you in your environment. Feel it. Listen to this.
I had set myself a target and there was all around my room. But I wouldn't sit there every day thinking, I want an orange Porsche. I want a massive detached house with land. I didn't sit there and think every day about those things, but they were around me and they were part of my environment. And in the same way, when I was younger, my environment had a huge influence on who I was and how I behaved. Once I stepped out of that and created my own environment.
The environment's stronger than nature. You understand me? So if you're in the wrong environment, you may want to do good, but there's nothing there to reinforce it.
Hey guys, just real quick, I know you're enjoying the video, we're going to get back to that, but this video is sponsored by Fanatics. Now guys, the reason I've partnered up with Fanatics is not only do I have custom drip, I look fly, the second thing is I get to save money, and that's what I want to give back to you guys. It's always about giving back to the people who come in and support. So guys, you guys can get awesome merch, NBA, NFL, all type of drip at Fanatics. Hit the link in the description. Now guys, there is deals every single day, 65% off, free shipping. The more you wait, the more deals are going to go missing by you, and this is your chance to really save money and get drip at such a good price. As soon as you finish watching this video, click that link, head over to Fanatics and go copy some merch right now. All right, let's get back to the video.
My own universe, if you like, which was surrounded by all of these things that I wanted to achieve.
Nigga, this is your world. Control your world. Everything is yours. It's your mindset. But I just truly believe the bullshit I told myself, I believed it. And I was right.
I started achieving them subconsciously, unknowingly, without having a real formula to how I'd achieve them.
When you dream, don't think about the steps of how to get there. No, you start off with the biggest dream possible. You start off with whatever you're passionate about, whatever pops up into your mind, the most magnetic, the most amazing thing it is, and you start from that vision. Don't worry about how you're going to get there. God will handle the details. But that's what he did. He had images around of him of the outcome of the goals that he want, like the orange Porsche. He had those images up there. And again, the way God works is he aligns those outcomes with your passions, with your gifts that you can provide to the world.
So I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute, so how did I actually do that? And then it always comes back to the self-belief. Because the moment I believe in something, if I can visualize what I'm trying to achieve, I know it's possible.
Really believe in, based on having these conversations with people who have all, to some degree, subconsciously, because you're saying that I didn't consciously sit there every day and think about it and make a plan. It was just in my subconscious. I drove towards it. It's this analogy of the car, right? The sat nav and the pedal. You got to set the sat nav and you've got to push the pedal. If you do one of them, if you just push the pedal, you're gonna get lost.
That's a great analogy.
If you set the sat nav but don't push the pedal, you're gonna be in your garage all day.
I love that.
Sat nav, your outcome, your desired feeling, whatever it is, your passion, your gifts, and your work ethic, your hunger. That's what's gonna get you there.
You did both, clearly. You had the drive to push the pedal, but you also knew the direction of travel you wanted to go in. In those early years though, I was watching a talk you did, I think it was on the BBC's channel, to a group of what looked like students about living in a shed.
Yeah.
And then your manager giving you some advice.
Yeah.
Take me back to that period of your life. Was that the toughest moment of your journey?
I'd say so. It was a period of my life where I had just become a father. And my partner was from a very different world to me. Family were, you could say middle class. And I was at a transitioning period in my life where I'd got to that point where I was like, I'm gonna do something that I love and something that I'm passionate about. And if I'm as good as I believe I am, the success will follow. And for me, it was the success that I was chasing rather than the money at that time. I just wanted to be the best. I just wanted to win. I knew that if I won, the money would come. And I'm not gonna sit here and say it was never about the money, because of course, it's always about the money. Anyone who says that, you should never trust them. But for me, it wasn't primary. It wasn't what was driving me forward.
How many times in life do people, it's the money. The money, of course, again, like you're saying, you want to have wealth. I want to be wealthy. I want to be able to provide my family, live an amazing life. Like, of course, you know what I mean? And of course, our gifts and talents and our passions are going to get us there. But that's not the primary focus. Would you be doing what you're doing if you weren't earning a penny from it? Would you be smiling? Would you be obsessed about it if you weren't earning $1 from it? Ask yourself that question and you'll see where your passions truly lie.
That was driving me forward, and I knew the money would follow. And I couldn't wait for the money to follow, but I knew it would, as long as I focused on being the best. But at that time, we was living in a shed. that had no sanitation. My son had just been born.
Wow.
And there were times when I couldn't afford nappies and milk. And I was kind of doing what I could to get by. And at that time, because I had self-educated on all aspects of new media, like I really went in, like really, really went in. I was editing content for Jump Off TV. And that was kind of tying me over and, you know, giving me enough money to get by. You know, like we still had to go elsewhere to shower and use the toilet, which is crazy. When I think about it now, it's crazy.
This is why this was so motivating and inspiring, and I wanted to show you guys and watch it with you, because maybe you could be someone who's going through similar things or whatever the case may be, but to know that, man, your circumstances will never have to define you. Like this man was going, imagine you have children. I don't have a child, but imagine knowing that, damn, I gotta feed my kid. And I could see it was hard for him, because it's like, you have a child, you want to be able to earn money quickly and more money, right? So you could maybe go do things you're not passionate about because, look, I need to feed my child. But he's sacrificed that, and he sacrificed that moment, even though, okay, we're struggling now and I'm going to different toilets and not having the best sanitized home for my child. But I know one day this passion will pay off and it's all going to be worth it. Look at his story. Get up, man. Let's go.
I look back at those moments now, and that was sacrifice for me. That was the sacrifice that I had to make, and I had to put my family through in order for me to become the person I needed to become.
He had to put his family through it. You always have to put yourself first. Yes, we're suffering. I'm putting these guys through it, but you know what? Because I'm choosing myself first and I'm helping myself, I'm going to be able to help everyone else around me. It's mindset.
How are you feeling every day when you look over at your family in that shed? What's going on in your head?
I'm embarrassed. I'm like scared. Anxiety was a big thing for me. A lot of self-doubt. I'm questioning myself. Can I really do this? Am I really the person that I think I am? Am I being selfish? Should I just go and get a job? Should I just give in and go and get a 9 to 5 and just submit to being part of the 98%? And for me, I just couldn't. There was something inside me that wouldn't let me. It was almost like a voice in my head when I look back. You can do this, man. You got this. And I'd be like, I can't. I almost felt a pressure. And the moment my son was born, that pressure intensified like something I have never felt before.
When he said that, it resonated so much with me because I've had times on this journey. I wouldn't say like I've thought of quitting, but it's like you get that little voice like, Eve, am I as really good as I say and I profess I am? Can I really do this? Like, look where I'm at. Being rejected here, not earning money here, not being able to be self-sufficient, not being able to be where I want to be or where I feel I deserve I should be. You get those questions of doubt. I know that feeling. Should I just go get a 9? Should I just go to university like everyone's told me to? Even for me, I can't do it. I can't be part of that 98%. I can't. I resonate with that so much. It's giving me goosebumps. Like, nah. And that's why I'm doing this. I'm in the 1%, man. I will die by this. And what he was saying there, that's a conversation between his head and his heart. His head is telling him, hey, but maybe you should go. His conscious mind, you could say, maybe you should go get a job, maybe this and this. But no, his heart, I'm gonna die by this. No, I'm gonna die than be a slave. Nah, I'm gonna die by doing this. And that's the mindset that we should have, nigga.
Like something I didn't even know was possible. The drive and the ambition. I was like, it's not about letting me down or my parents down. I can't let my son down. And there's no way in a million years that I'm gonna let this young man down. No way. And at that point, I was working 18, sometimes 20 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week. I wasn't even spending time with my family because I was just so engrossed, so obsessed with becoming the best and creating something that moved the needle. And in my head, I always knew I'd never move the needle unless I was willing to move the needle. And that's what it was for me. So I'd wake up every day, 5 a.m. And in my head, I've got a 4-hour head start. Before anyone's even started work, I'm 4 hours up on you where I've got no distractions, no emails, no phone calls, no texts. 4 hours just focusing, doing what I needed to do. And then I had the rest of the day for everyone to play catch up. And that's what I was doing in my head. And there were times, over a 2-year period there were times when, you know, people are sitting down and saying, this ain't never gonna happen, Charlie. It's just not gonna happen. Like, you need to be a realist.
How many times have we heard that in life? I've had situations, even family members, they love you. What about if you don't make it? No, like, look at the possibilities. They tell you the percentages of people who can make it as a professional footballer or who could live this type of lifestyle. Maybe you should go get a plan B. How many times have we heard that? I've heard that so many times in my life. Those outside voices, that pressure, they submit to it. They say, you know what? Maybe that person's right. Maybe I'm being selfish. Maybe it's me. Keep going, man. You got it. I believe in you.
And their doubt almost made me doubt myself even more. But I knew that if I kept putting in the effort and the work that I was putting in at that period in my life, something was gonna give.
Something's gonna give. I put my all into this shit, man. I can't fucking lose.
Now this is, you know, when YouTube first started, very fresh. People were doing the vlogs. And my manager at the time was saying, you gotta do a vlog. Let everyone see your personality. People will fall in love with you. And I'm like, no way. Like, that is so corny. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's doing it. And from a young age, my thing was always be disruptive. Be as noisy and as loud and as different as you can possibly be. And I still, to this very day, apply that to everything that I'm doing. So I was like, nah, I can't do it.
When I was younger, I used to have qualities about me that would stand out. I'd be ridiculed for those things, like, you know, they tease me for it or whatever the case may be, many situations. And so you kind of get shy of standing out. You know, oh, maybe I should just go and, but as I've gotten older and have noticed things that stand out about me when I walk into a room or whatever, even if it's what I'm wearing, I'm always different. People always have to comment about it, like, embrace that. I love being unique. I love being different to y'all. And I think that's when we can really thrive and make money. That's where we can really thrive and become great, is being ourselves, being different. You have something about you that no one's ever seen before, that no one can even comprehend. Be that, do that, and don't listen to anyone else, man.
A vlog, everyone's doing it. I'm just gonna be like everyone else. I need to do something different. So we came up with being Charlie Sloth, where at the time I played like 7-8 different characters in a show, all wore different outfits, different uniforms, all had their own personality. So you had the cameraman, the editor, the manager, the street team, the artist, the web designer, and they each played on stereotypes of what I felt those people were. And I made the first episode and I spent ages on it. So long, because I wrote it myself, I filmed it myself, I edited it myself, and we put it out on YouTube. And it done a few thousand views. I remember the feeling. I can almost feel the feeling of disappointment that I felt 24 hours after that going live on YouTube. Thinking like, wow, I've just spent all that time making this. After the first episode was like 40 minutes long. And it's genius. I'm thinking, no one's ever done anything like this.
Sometimes I'll be thinking to myself too, I'll do stuff or make a video, maybe it doesn't get as many views as it should, even though it's my mind, it's one of the greatest videos I've ever done. Every video is like that for me anyways. I sometimes even have to think to myself, Eve, you're ahead of your time. Sometimes if you don't get a reaction in the thing that you've spent so much time and it's your baby, it's your art, like you said, he spent so much time editing that. Oh, Charlie, you were ahead of your time, bro.
And nobody's watching it. And I thought, you know what? This may be the sign that I needed to actually call it a day. I was so disheartened. And the next thing you know, we get a message from worldstarhiphop.com saying that they wanted to take it on exclusively. And that was a huge defining moment in my life and in my career. Because not only did it give me the break that I needed within the industry, but it also gave me this new lease of life in terms of self-belief and made me understand that the work and self-belief that I'd had in myself wasn't a waste of time, and that there are people paying attention around the world. Even when you think people ain't looking, they are.
Sometimes I think that too, or maybe people aren't watching, or maybe I'll be surprised at who watches my videos, you know? Remember when we were children, there was no being in love and creating art, you know, creating. That's what we were put on this earth for. You were made in God's image, therefore you're a creator. Go out there and create.
That really changed my outlook on life and on myself. And from there was no looking back. Like, beast mode was fully activated and there was nothing and no one that was going to stop me.
You know what's really interesting is when we think about self-belief, the self-belief you had, we almost assume that it can't exist in the same place as doubt. But it completely rang true for me that I was such a self-believing person. I think the most self-believing person I'd met when I was, in the early stages of my career. But at the same time, when I look at my diary, because, we all recount these stories in hindsight to say I had so much self-belief, I knew exactly where I was going, and it happened. Whereas when I look at my diary, I could see the self-doubt.
Yeah.
And it come from other people. They're like, maybe they're right. That voice of like, maybe they're right.
You know, a lot of people that are successful that I speak to, I think it's hard for a lot of people to admit that they doubted themselves at some point on their journey. I still doubt myself today. There's still times when, even though I've achieved some incredible things throughout my career, I still doubt myself.
Future said, I deal with doubt every single day. And that's a misconception. You see so many people, Ronaldo's, the Messi, Conor McGregor's, you see people who are so outspoken with their confidence and with their belief. Those same people, you wouldn't even think that they doubt themselves, but they do. We'll all have that doubt. But as you grow, as you evolve, as you learn who you really are and whose you are, the doubt quietens a bit more. It will come like and it's the devil. The devil will pop up, doubt. But you say, no. And the more you feed yourself, the more you enrich yourself with knowledge and learn about who you are, see your line, see where you've come from, you actually gain confidence as well as putting in the work in. But that extra level, which will take you to unlimited heights, is drowning out that doubt and punching in, depositing belief in that bank account, depositing so much belief as you can. So when it's time to withdraw that belief, when it's time to withdraw all that hard work, but that belief that you've been planting in your subconscious mind, when it's time to perform, you're ready.
But that's the pessimist in me that gives me balance. I feel like if I never had that, I feel like that self-belief could almost turn into arrogance. And that's something that I've never wanted to happen. So I feel like when I chat to people, especially people that are grounded, it feels like that's a safety mechanism that we install in ourselves and program in our minds to keep ourselves grounded and humble. Because anytime I spoke to people that don't really have that or don't really want to admit self-doubt, they're the ones that are bordering on the line of arrogance.
Those people typically tend to come from a slightly different background to yours as well. I think because if you'd grown up in a family where everyone was a billionaire,
yeah, you
saying that you want to do this or this, people would be like, easy, Charlie. Yeah, I'll connect you to the guy now.
Yeah.
But growing up in that background, you're constantly, when nobody's doing what you want to do, you're confronted with that negative pessimism because that's what people feel about themselves around you. Why could you do that?
I also think there's also a misconception maybe that also rich people, wealthy people, maybe the sons of wealthy people, whatever the case may be, that they have an easy life and this and this and everything's given to them. And it's true at a certain degree, things have made easier because of the hard work and the labor of generations before them. But I really believe in a lot of cases, it's even harder for someone who has it already, because where's the hunger? You know, it's easier for me not having so much and maybe seeing struggle and seeing my parents do this and whatever the case may be and not being able to have what I want. I can see where that drive comes from for achieve. But if you have everything, to go out and do even more, I think is respectable. That's what I want my kids to do, because no, you also achieved something that is hard, that mentally is challenging. I have everything. I have a certain name. There's pressure. Maybe your dad was like this. Imagine someone like Ronaldo's son, you know, these people's children who have so much greatness and so much pressure on them. Even more pressure than someone who comes from nothing, but they're able to still use that drive, determination to build even more wealth that they already have. That's also very, very difficult and takes, again, a lot of self-belief, a lot of putting that in subconscious mind that no, I'm gonna prove myself that I can multiply and I can make my dreams come into reality. Yes, it may be easier through connections and those things there, but there's still a certain element of hunger and desire you need to have and mental attitude to multiply.
Being from that environment, you know, no one wants the working class to be inspired. No one wants the working class to believe that they don't have to be working class. This is a choice. You know, like it's from a young age, it's programmed in us from our parents, you know, that this is what you have to do to have a good life. You have to go to school, then you go to college. If you're lucky, you can go to university. Then you get a job, then you find a partner, then you get a mortgage, then you're trapped, and then that's it. The moment you enter that agreement with the bank is the moment you're trapped, in my opinion.
Facts. And it goes into a lot of what Andrew Tate talks about in his message of the Matrix. For example, my family, working class. How many times are we told these things? People become slaves to that program. What he's talking about now, it's a program. And that's how the rich get richer. That's how they want you to think. They never want you to believe that you can, this is your world. They create your world. A lot of people's worlds are created for them. It makes a generation of slaves.
There's no, you can't really escape at that point because you have commitments. You now have to go to work to pay that mortgage every month. And it's at that point where you become a part of the system.
What did I just say?
The sad thing is most of the working class youth of today don't know any better. And that's why you find a lot of the kids from that environment looking up to the drug dealers, the fraud guys, because they're the only guys that I've ever seen financial success in those communities. So they're not gonna look up to a doctor or a lawyer or a dentist because there are none. The moment that shifts is the moment the mentality of our kids, of this generation, will change. And I think it's changed slightly now because obviously the internet has given everyone a much broader vision in terms of what's possible. But there's still a lot of the youth that don't really use the internet in that way. And when you think about that, that's insane.
Point of, seeds, planted seeds. I think your story is the most perfect examples of how seeds you plant can end up changing your life. Not just for you, but all the seeds that were planted on your platform that changed lives.
Yeah.
And I sit here so often with people who tell, who gold medal Olympians or they've got a $100 billion company, whatever it is. And you see at some point they planted some seed without really knowing what the consequence would be. And maybe 3 years later, maybe 5 minutes later, that seed unexpectedly changes their life.
Amen. What seeds are you planting every single day? Again, how are you feeding, enriching your future self? I look at all my past YouTube videos, again, I'm ahead of my time. And I'm like, these are all seeds, because in 2-3 years, these videos that I'm doing right now, that I've done in the past, they're going to be residual income. They're going to be changing the world. They're going to be studied upon from generations upon generations.
That idea of planting seeds, you must have seen that over and over again.
Oh, for sure.
Fire in the booth.
For sure. I mean, initially, that was a massive crossroad in my career. Do I go back into what my passion was, music, producing, DJing, or do I stay on this road of being Charlie Sloth, which is ultimately acting stroke comedy, if you like. And it was because I could see the potential in the platform at BBC One Extra that I made that decision. And it wasn't so much about me. And like, when I look back at that now, like, I was very selfless because I could have taken a big check at the time. But this goes back to, again, what I was saying, it wasn't about the money. I could have taken that check and I don't know where I'd be now. But being the man that I was with money, I've always been very good with money. I would have made that money into more money. But I was like, it's not about that. This is about the next 10 years. And what can I do, not only for me, but for the community?
Sometimes we think we get into this selfish mode of, I got to take care of my family and create generational wealth for my family. But I'm also learning now, and Eve, it's going to get to a point where it's much bigger than that. It's for your community, for the people who look like you, it's for the people who aspire to envision their realities and aspire to get it out of the program. You're doing it for every single one of the people who come and click on this video. You're doing it for much more bigger reasons. So for him to ignore the money, not totally neglect the money, but let me focus on the next 10 to 20 years. How often are you doing that? How often are you focusing and thinking about the next 10 to 15 years in your life?
When I first joined the BBC, I was getting £140, I believe, a show. So I was only earning £140 a week working for the BBC. So when you think about that, even when I think about that now, there's this huge perception and illusion that DJs earn ridiculous amounts of money. Now they do. I mean, let's be fair, I've done all right and there's other DJs that trump me. But at the time, accepting a contract, a year contract at a time for £140 a week, to go and be on the BBC rather than a 6-figure deal in LA. I think most people, especially, managers in general, are very straight thinking.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And it's all about the money. It's very straight thinking. It's better you do that because there's more money involved. But for me, I'm looking at the big picture.
This interview was so inspiring for me, man. Honestly, so inspiring, because it's like to see how he had an idea, to see how he followed his passions, to see how he ignored reality. He created his own reality. I feel like I saw someone say, like, we're all in a video game and I'm the creator of my own world. Like, I'm putting statistics in my world. Like, everyone is living in my world. I swear down, that's how I think, that's how I go about life. And just to see that and to see what he's become and who he's turned out into through this journey, so inspiring. So guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe. I really hope you enjoyed this. I want to keep reacting to podcasts. I think I'm creating something new. I think, again, my genius mind has come up with something that I think that can help inspire. Like, it's not a full postcard episode, but it's just broken down into the parts I think, or actually I know, so many people need to hear this message. So many people need to be inspired by this truth and to have that elegance and that imagination to live like a child, be a child, chase what you're after, ignore sometimes your circumstances or what's presented in front of you. Use that drive, that hunger, and that obsession, that crazy obsession that you have to not be like everyone else, to go on a path that's exceptional, that's different, that's creating history, then that you will be talked about for years and years and years to come. You can do it. I believe in you. I love you, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Coming out blue diamonds for realer. Yeah, when I came up in this bitch, I been about my Skrilla. Yeah, bitches on my